Hello there kids, today we are going to learn how to solve for angles along a straight line. Anong klaseng angle nga ba ang hinanap natin? Of course, the missing angles. Because if the angles are not given at all, then there's no point of solving it because you won't be able to solve anything at all. Okay, so straight line are formed by 2 points from point A to point B. At this point, they are called point A. Actually, it depends on the name of the point. In this case, I named them A and B. Okay. And since these 2 points, no, and if you're going to combine these 2 points, draw a line. And the line is not straight. Thanks to that, at some point. So, hindi ko na lang po, yan na lang, ganyan na lang. Okay. So, once you're going to combine these 2 points, it will now form a line. Once the line is formed, it will be named after the points, which in this case is A and B. So, this line is now called line A, B. Okay? Parang there's another way of writing it. Line AB is written as line AB. Ganito. Okay? Okay, so angles form naman, no? When do angles form? When writing ni teacher Mark, no? Not a good example. Angles form naman once 2 lines will meet at a common point. So for example, yung angle na to, for example, yung line A, B, and there's another line from point B to point C. So again, we have our point A here, obviously. Sulatin ko lang for then point B, and we also have the point C. And if you notice, we now were able to form line AB over here and also line BC. Now, an angle has formed because of their common points. If you now notice, we have our common points, which is ang B. Common point nila because this is where they actually meet. Okay? And this opening here is called an angle. Even the one at the other end is also an angle. Okay, depending on how you see it, you can call them as external and internal angle. Depende. It depends on the figure. But for now, we'll focus on just the internal one, yung sa loob lang. Okay, this one. So, along a straight line, let's say we have point A and B here, and let's say there is a point here, kasi assuming that these are 2 lines who actually meet at a common point, which is let's say point O rather. Pero straight pa rin sila. Okay, parang we now have lines AO and line OB. So, ito yung 2 lines natin ngayon. And they meet, ito yung common point natin. Okay? And common points pala, sorry. Common point of angles is called vertex. Okay? Vertex yan. And if you notice that if you're going to consider line A, B, if you can see, obviously it's a straight line. And all straight line is equivalent to 180 degrees. Okay, it's always 180 degrees. All straight lines are equivalent to 180 degrees in terms of measurement. Okay, so ibig sabihin, if we have a straight line with a vertex nga, and if we are going to draw another angle here with point C, you can basically say now, if you're going to give a name to this one as X, this angle, And you're going to name this angle here as y, this angle. And if you're going to add them both, x plus y, so we are talking about angles, okay? So angle x plus angle y. This will always give us an equivalent of 180 degrees because we are adding this angle here plus this angle over here, which basically forms the straight line line AB. Okay? So even as much as you want to add angles there, baba tayo konti. A and B, add tayo ng angle here, add another one there. Okay? So ito yung point natin. Vertex O, C, D. Okay. If you're going to name this as X, Y, Z, which means if you're going to add X, add Y, and add Z, so that's equivalent to angle X plus angle Y plus angle Z. This all three will be equivalent to 180 degrees. Okay? That's the basic of it. So, paano nga ba tayo nagsosolve for the missing angle on a straight line? Okay. So, we have A, B, and this is point O. So, this is now an actual problem na. Okay, let's say this is point C. You are tasked to solve for this angle over here. Let's say this is angle X right now. So angle X is missing. And this angle over here should be given. Because if it is not given, you will not be able to solve for it. Okay? So assuming that this is roughly around 75 degrees. So how do you solve for X? Okay. Knowing that this 2 is equivalent to 180 degrees. Correct? 180 yan. So to solve for X, all you need to do is just to take your total and subtract the given angle. Okay? Subtract the given angle, which is in this case 75 degrees. And doing so, 180 degrees minus 75 degrees, borrow, should give us 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 7 is 0. Bring down 1 is 105. So our final answer here is 105 degrees, which means our angle X is equivalent to 105. Okay? So, ganun lang yung pag-solve niyan if one angle is missing. I mean, if one angle is missing and one angle is given. So, basically. So, what if I'm going to add two missing angles? A and B. Let's say we have one here and another one there. Okay, so we have C and D. So, we have our X here. Ba't na lang parating X, no? Palitan natin. Let's say we are solving for Y. And then these angles here are given. Let's assuming that this is 100, let's say 18 degrees. And this is roughly around 32 degrees. Now, how do you solve for Y? Again, knowing that if you're going to add all these three angles, which means that's 118 degrees, plus your Y, plus your 32 degrees, it should give you a total of 180 degrees. Now, to solve for Y, all you need to do first is to add the two given angles, which is 118 plus 32 degrees. Okay, so that's 118 plus 32 will give us 150 degrees. And now, since it's already equivalent to 150, all you need to do now, you now know that these two angles are equivalent to 150. All you need to do now is to subtract this from your total, which is 180, to solve for Y. So, ibig sabihin, that's just equivalent to 180 degrees minus 150, 0, 3, 0. So, we are now left with just 30 degrees. Ibig sabihin yung 30 degrees ninyo is equivalent to your y over there. Angle y. Okay? Is equivalent to 30 degrees. Now, kahit ano pa yung situation nyo, as long as it's on a straight line, all the given angles should be added first, and then subtract it from the total of a straight line, which is equivalent to 180. Okay? So, the same lang yan. Ibig sabihin, kahit pa ilan yan, hindi na nag-meet sa Ben. The app should draw a line from point A to point P rather than. So if you notice, parang multiple na talaga, no? Again, let's say we have A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. And of course, point natin is O. You might ask me, Teacher Mark, parati ba talagang O? At some point, most of the given, no, especially kahit sa circles, their midpoint is always O, but it can be represented by any letters, okay? So, okay, the same lang to ha. So, let's say we are solving for angle Z right now. Let's say this is equivalent to 35 degrees. This is equivalent to 25 degrees. This is, let's say, 33 degrees. And this one is around 15 degrees. Okay. So, what will you do? Again, one missing, 4 given. So first things first is to add all the given. 35, 25. So we have 33, 15, 35, 25. So degrees yan lahat. Please don't forget about the sign kasi kung walang sign na, I will consider it wrong. So adding all, 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which will give us 18. Then adding everything as well. 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 1, 5. That will give us 158. So 15 lahat. Again, double checking. 1 plus 3. Oh, tinan nyo na. Yan kasi si Teacher Mark. Saan na ba tayo? I'm lost. It's just 10. Okay. Again. Okay, so 108 lang. Okay, now that you already have 108, of course, what you do now is just to take their total. Alam nyo na yung total nyo. From this point all the way here is equivalent to 180 degrees. Diba? So, to solve for the missing value, all you need to do is just to take your total, 180 degrees, minus your total dito naman kanina, adding all the given angles, which is 108 degrees. So, that's equivalent to 180 minus 108 degrees. So, our answer here is, borrow tayo, 7. This will become 10. So, that's 2, 7. So, that's 72 degrees only. So, which means our angle Z is equivalent to 72 degrees. Okay, so that is how you basically solve for the missing angle along a straight line. Okay. So, I want you to get a paper now. This is graded. So, please do get a paper or a bond paper, whatever you have there. And I'm gonna give you 5 items to solve. Okay? You can pause between videos to solve for it. Okay? You should copy this, by the way, on a piece of paper. So, this is for number 1. Solve for angle X. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, so for number 2, pause nyo lang yung video, ha? And this is number 2. Okay, so your task to solve for angle Y. Okay, so pause nyo lang yung video. Okay, going to number 3. So, number 3 naman, we will now have 2 missing values na until we reach a certain number of values. I mean, no, sorry, not 2 missing values, pero more than 2 na yung 2 given na pala, sorry. And this is for number 3, which you are tasked to solve for angle X. Okay, so if you notice, dalawa na po yung ating given. So it's already, I have already explained that. Okay, so pause the video lang. And for number 4, okay, so this is number 4, and you are tasked to solve for angle Z. Okay, just pause the video. This is quite similar to number 3. And the last number. Okay, so number 5, you are tasked to solve for angle X. And if you notice, we now have 1, 2, 3 given angles. Okay, so that's basically it. Again, use a paper or bond paper to answer this. You need to submit this on the following pick up and surrendering of modules. Okay.